Toddlers, welcome back after half term. Hope you had a good time. Today's subject is a square to find. Now, what's a square? I found this. It's a sketchbook of mine. Lots of drawings in there, but it's a square shape. It's a bit like that rectangle we had the other week, but a square is the same length on all four sides. Or maybe you've got some things which are more colourful, which are squares. I found this cushion, nice big yellow cushion, that's a square shape. And you'll find other things, but later on Natalie is going to take you on a scavenger hunt to help you hunt down squares all around you. We've also got a story from a special guest, which is about a man called Nicodemus. And Nicodemus spoke to Jesus and asked him some questions. Because as well as thinking about the shape, the square, we're thinking about being brave to ask questions. You ask questions, you can find out things and you can get answers, so you can learn and grow and become wise. So don't be afraid to ask questions and find out what's going on around you. Anyway, better get on with today's session. We've got songs, we've got a story, we've got prayer, we've got the scavenger hunt activity, lots of things. So have fun and I'll see you at the other end. See you in a bit.
Some of us are big and tall, some of us are very small. Some of us like pink and some like blue. Some of us like reading books, some of us like feeding ducks. That's because we're different, me and you. But God loves everyone He's made. God loves each of us in a special way. That's you and 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 you. God loves you. God loves you. That's you and 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 you. We're part of the big family of God. Some of us have curly hair, some of us have specs to wear. All of us have different families. Some of us don't make a sound. That's because we're different, you and me. But God loves everyone He's made. God loves each of us in a special way. That's you and 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 you. God loves you. God loves you. That's you and 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 you. We're part of the big family of God. We're part of the big family of God.
Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to Toddlers. My name's Vanessa and I'm going to tell you the story today of the secret search of Nicodemus from John chapter 3. There was once a teacher called Nicodemus and he thought what Jesus did was good. But other teachers thought Jesus was crazy. After all, Jesus helped sick people get better. He helped people to do the right things. And he never asked for any money. whoever did something for nothing. Nicodemus was sad. I like what Jesus does, he whispered to himself, but I'm scared that the other teachers will laugh at me. I had better forget about Jesus. But Nicodemus couldn't get Jesus out of his head. He walked around his house thinking, Jesus said we must do the right thing. But if I am scared, if those other teachers find out I believe what Jesus says, I could lose my job. Nicodemus kept walking round in circles. I know, he said. I will go and talk to Jesus, but not in the daytime, when the other teachers can see me. I will go at night time in the dark. Finally the sun went down and everyone fell asleep. Nicodemus didn't. Nicodemus could hear the other teachers snoring. I think it's safe now, he whispered to himself. I must go. He took a lamp and he hid it under his cloak and he crept from his house. He tiptoed down the street and he could hardly see his way in the dark. He found the square house where Jesus was staying and he tapped on the door. And he tapped again a little bit louder and the door opened and Jesus looked out and said, Hello, Nicodemus. Nicodemus bowed. Jesus, if you have time, I would like to talk to you. Jesus invited Nicodemus in and closed the door. He took Nicodemus to a corner of that small square house and they sat on a mat. How can I help you, Nicodemus? Jesus asked. Nicodemus sighed. I know you are good and you come from God. I just have to look at all the wonderful things you've done. But how do you do what is right? Well, Jesus smiled at Nicodemus and he said, You're a teacher. Don't you know the answer? And Nicodemus said, No, please tell me. Jesus smiled at Nicodemus again and said, God helps me to do what is right, and he can help you too. I know it is scary to do that, but you don't have to be afraid, Nicodemus. They talked and they talked late into the night. Nicodemus was happy that he had found Jesus and asked the question. He never forgot that night, and he wasn't afraid anymore.
Be bold, be strong. Oh Lord, your God is with you. Be bold, be strong. Oh Lord, your God is with you. I am not afraid. I am not dismayed. For I'm walking in faith and victory. Come on, walk in faith and victory. For Lord, your God is with you. One more time. Be bold, be strong. For Lord, your God is with you. Be bold, be strong. For Lord, your God is with you. I am not afraid. I am not dismayed. I'm walking in faith and victory. Come on, walking in faith and victory. Oh Lord, our God
thank you for giving us the courage to ask people for help when we need it. Sorry that I have lost my way and that I need to be able to find you. Please give us all the strength and courage to ask anybody for help when we need it. And we know that it will be there. Aww.
Morning, toddlers. Well, this week's craft is this week's theme, a square to find. So let's go and see how many squares we can find around my house, because it's cold outside. Maybe we'll go outside later. But here's my first. 4 sides the same length. I found another one. Let's see if we can see it. There's a circle, but around the edge, hi, the square over it. 4 sides the same length. And here's another one, look. 1, 2, 3. And here I find 3. Can you see them? I need to move my camera around, but here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take this down. Ta-da! And wow, look, there's a square in the middle of my window. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shall we brave it outside? And my table and my chair. Oh, wow. My little allotment where I'm going to plant my vegetables. Can we see any more squares? So all week I've been worried about squares to find, and they've just been right here. Here's some windows. Show me the squares that you find.
So, here we are at the end of today's toddler session. Did you think of some good questions to ask? I hope so. And if you haven't thought of any yet, keep it in mind, and perhaps you can ask some questions over the next few days and find out a bit more yourself. Anyway, it's been lovely to see you. We're back next week online. So keep things square, keep asking questions, and see you soon. Goodbye.